Hey guys, today in this video I'm going to show you how to use Python's SQLite 3 library. So the SQLite 3 module is basically an implementation of the SQLite tool. So yeah, so the only part of the SQLite 3 library I'm going to be using is the connect function. So let's import SQLite 3's connect function object to save up storage space. And for now I'm going to be using the cache, the memory. So I'm just going to use. So you can use variable and the connect function or a context manager to connect to a database. Oops. Okay, so we have created a connection, and to execute a single SQL statement, we use the execute method of the connection object. So I'm going to create a table called users, and with two columns. So the first column will be the name column, which will be the text data type, and then the second one will be called ID and will be an integer data type. Okay, so now has returned a cursor object and was done the job, and then we need to commit it to save. So yeah, to execute a single SQL statement, we use the connection object's execute method, and so we use the connect function from the SQLite 3 module to connect to a database, and then we use the connection object's commit method to save the changes, and then to close the database we just simply use the connection object's close method. So yeah, that's how to connect to a simple database without using a file. Okay, this time I will be using a file and with a context manager. So yeah, let's import the connect function again. And then now we're gonna say with connect. And then because I've created a file called test.db, we can use that. And then as db. So what the as keyword does here is that it basically assigns an alias an alias to the connection. And if you don't know what db means, db is basically an abbreviation for database in computer programming. Okay, now to execute several SQL statements, we use the connection object's execute script method. And then we're going to create the table. So I'm going to call it users again. And then the same columns and the same data types. Now we can place a semicolon after that to be followed with another SQL statement. So now I'm going to create a new record inside the database table. Oops. So I'm just going to call this James 8374, and then randomize enter for the ID, and then to save that we use db.commit, and then we don't have to close it because we're using context manager. It automatically closes it after we execute the code here. So let's run that. Oops, looks like I've made a typo. Okay, now that's successfully run. Now I'm going to check the database with my database manager, and in this case I'm using SQLite. What's it called? SQLite editor. Yeah. So yeah, here's the table that created, and then here's the record that we've created. Now we can also view all the data with the select statement, but before we do that, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create another new record before we do that. So oops, insert into users and values. And then there's this attack that the attackers and hackers use to hack your database, called SQL injection. So we must use parameter substitution instead because it's more safe. So yeah, we replace the values with question marks as placeholders for the values, and then for the actual values, we use a tuple, and inside that tuple we put all the values that we want to put in. Now to save the changes, we use the connection objects commit method. Okay. Now another way to view the data, apart from using a database management application, is using db.execute and then select asterisk or all from users, and because that will return the cursor object, we don't have to worry about creating a cursor object. Now wait a minute. So that's another way to view all the data. So here are all our records. Okay, so that's a simple SQLite 3 tutorial for Python. If you enjoyed the video and found it helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more Python tutorials. Bye.